Hey guys, it's Chad with Tempest Overland. We're down here at the shop today. I'm going to go over my long travel suspension that I got in the truck that we've done. I'm going to go front to rear with the suspension, all the things I've done to it, what I plan to change here in the future. Just kind of give you a rundown with the truck of what has been done so far since I bought it. Alright, so I got you flipped around here with the truck. So currently it's still on stock beam brackets, stock steering. So what we've changed so far, and we'll walk you up a little closer here, take a little better look. So you can see stock beam brackets, all still stock steering. So what we're running here, I'll walk you around this side. So you can see, so those are my extended radius arms. They're extended 14 inches. You can see that is actually the back tab right above that where the radius arm brackets. So your stock radius arm brackets are actually about here. That is the stock end. The rough country arms are slipped over, new brackets made, so they're extended 14 inches on Johnny joints. So these are rebuildable ends. They allow for more travel, more pivot. Then we go up to our springs, which I'll have to take you around the side, I guess. This is my dual shock setup. Both tabs are welded 9/16 bolts on the radius arms for the lower mounts. Got Bilstein remote reservoir shocks paired with Fox 2.0 Adventure Series shocks. So the dual shocks allow me to run without a sway bar, without any problems of excessive body roll and such. So those are Rubicon Express 3.5 inch lift Jeep ZJ coils. They're 220 PPI, so they allow for a lot more flex. Now if we come back here to the rear, these are the 1986 through 94 two-wheel drive F-150 leaf spring packs. The reason they're two-wheel drive is they're 2.5 inch springs. The four-wheel drive have 3-inch wide springs, and those won't work without some modifications. So these are a 5-leaf pack, good for about 2.5, 3.5 inches of lift, depending on how stacked your old springs are. Got Warrior 153 shackles for about 1.5 inch lift. Now, this front suspension on this truck rides fantastic. The difference is that the front now rides really soft with those new coils. The front ride's great. Problem that I have is now that the front is softer than the rear, when you hit bumps at slower speeds, the rear suspension unloads. All right, so now I kind of walk you through that. I told you right where we finished off right there was the rear suspension unload. So the rear is a lot heavier spring rate than the fronts. And rather than take springs out and lose the ride height or the payload capacity to have with it, because this is an overland truck, as well as a mild pre-runner build, what I have to do is I have to get higher valving shocks in the rear to basically prevent those springs from unloading down so hard. It'll actually make it so the springs have to pull the shocks down so that it rides a litting better. Because if you're going about 55, 60, it's smooth as silk. It clears bumps. I tested it out last night a little bit around 60, hitting about a 3-foot over on a crossroads, and it's super smooth. Truck didn't pick up off the ground. The truck used to actually, how the front was set up, it would actually jump that same hill at about 60, put you about a foot off the ground. Now it actually rides over the bump like it's supposed to. So that's my four-wheel drive long travel setup. The front boasts 14 inches of up and down four-wheel drive travel. And right now my max is actually the center U-joint locks up at 14 or at 10 inches of down travel. The front U-joint locks, and that's my max down travel. So I either need to cut and turn the beams and shave that center U-joint, or shave that center U-joint a little bit and then limit strap it, which I'll end up having to get limit straps anyway. It's just not something I want to do quite yet because I haven't finished playing with the setup yet, and I would like to see if I can get a little more travel pushed out of it. All right. So here is a little bit better look at the front suspension. You can see those coils are about 21 inches unloaded, so you can see they compress pretty far, but they're soft enough that, you know, they can compress up a little harder, which is where my 4 or 5 inches of up travel still comes from. But they're also able to, without coming off the bucket, top or bottom, they are still bolted to the bottom. You have to flip the buckets, your factory coil bucket mount, or your factory coil retainer around to actually pinch these coils down. But so far I've not had any issues with the coils. They are not bolted in at top. They still use the stock retaining rings, but if you look closely, there's a small tab welded there just to the bucket because the coils are slightly larger in diameter, and that is just to help prevent the coils from wanting to walk over. All right, guys, thanks for checking it out.